Hello, my friends, and welcome back to your place for all your Minecraft news, your weekly Minecraft news. I'm talking about Realm News Flash. I am your host, the one and only, the Dark Lord. The one who puts the real in realm and expands your mind one block at a time. My friends, we have a little news to report on here today in the form of Chaos Cube first test features, along with this upcoming Thursday's Realm News clip over polls, potions, and superstitions. The rabbit's foot explored. With that said, shall we get the show started? I'll see you there. Before we enter this news cycle, I should mention that all news reported here in this episode is subject to change. Just could, you never know. I would like to start with the latest drop. Chaos Cubed, an article released on March 31st, 2026. Even if it didn't have the published date on it, it didn't. I noticed that because, I always make my works cited for these, so I was naturally going through trying to find the author, or the title, the author, and then the publication date, and there wasn't one, which was funny. They must just forgot to put that in there, honestly. Well, the title is Test the Features from Our Next Drop. That's simple. Written by Christina and Derka. It explains all the features that were announced at the Minecraft Live Spring 2026 event and much more. Realm News Flash covered the live event by making a report afterwards and by following it up with a round table which had guests such as Michael TBH, Jack, Nex, and Mint Refresh. I recommend listening to the round table if you haven't. However, at that announcement, we learned about the new Sulfur Cave biome and everything in it, such as the Sulfur block, Cinnabar block, Sulfur Cube, potent sulfur blocks, and noxious gas. Allow me to sum up all those new features before going on and telling you the changes and other new announcements that were announced in this article. Let's start here with the Sulfur Cube, which is a versatile physics-based block that interacts with different materials to create unique behaviors. It can be customized using data packs, allowing for varied friction properties and mechanics. Players can utilize it in creative builds, games, and even marble runs. Then there's the Sulfur Cave biome, which is a new underground biome featuring vibrant sulfur pools, distinct terrain formations, and unique environmental challenges. It stands out with its color palette and integrates noxious gas dynamics for added gameplay depth. Then we have the Sulfur and Cinnabar blocks, which are decorative and functional blocks derived from sulfur and cinnabar, showcasing bright red and yellow hues. They add aesthetic variety and may have chemical-inspired interactions within the game. And as of recent, they did tone those down. They changed the colors from the original announcement at the live event, and many people love them. I like it too. I think it looks good. But some people, many people I've seen on Twitter now, X, have been calling for them to revert those blocks back to how they presented them at the live, just the original, which is, everybody has their own opinions during these tweaks and changes. So it doesn't shock me too much to see people complaining about this shift. Honestly, I like the more, it's not a matted color. It's more a pastel color. Maybe they just toned it down. It's not as vibrant. Anyways, I think it looks better. They did a good job to me personally, but go check it out for yourself and write in and let me know at Realm News. Patreon.com/Realm News. Oh my gosh, my brain's not functioning today on Easter Sunday when I'm recording this. Sorry, folks. Now, let's move on to the potent sulfur block, which is a specialized block that produces toxic, noxious gas when placed underwater, similar to magma or soul sand bubble columns. It can be used creatively for traps, environmental hazards, or industrial themed builds. Like Jack, who's been a guest on the show, he first mentioned that he wants to use those noxious gas for industrial themed builds, because he's huge into those type builds, which I think is just will just be great for that type of that theme. I think that's going to be really cool to see what he does with all that. And I'm the one that I think it was on live or a round table, the last one, where I said, like, we suggested players could use this for like moats, slow people down with noxious gas, help for defense on bases. I think this will be affecting mobs to a degree. I believe they said it'll affect your dog, the wolf. Sorry, I always call them dogs. In my head, it's like a dog. But I believe it'll make your wolf noxious, have those effects as well. So I'll be interested to see how it'll affect other mobs. And I have the noxious gas here written down, which is a hazardous environmental effect linked to the potent sulfur block, like I said. But the sulfur blockers and water is going to cause that noxious gas effect, which is really neat. The visual distortions and nausea effects, it'll just add an extra layer of difficulty when navigating sulfur caves. And for custom player traps, like I said. I hope that summary caught you all up to speed with the initial announcements made at the live event over the Chaos Cube. Now, let's hear about some of the new tweaks and features that they made, which I kind of already got into a few of these. Let's start here. The overworld surface is now linked to the Sulfur Cave, folks. Just like the Lush Cave system has an indicator of its presence on the surface, but it's in the form of the azalea tree. When you come across an azalea tree in the overworld, then you should know that there's a lush cave system beneath that. I thought that was a fun fact when I first discovered it. I remember a while back, probably a year ago, I said I wanted to make an episode over the azalea tree and lush cave system biome. I will have to do that still one day, because that biome and the azalea tree intrigues me. So I'll be excited to make that episode. The Sulfur Cave biome also has an indicator, which will be a sulfur pool on the overworld surface. That's where I'm getting at with this, folks. So the Lush Cave system has a azalea tree as an indicator on the surface of the overworld, and the Sulfur Cave biome has a sulfur pool on the overworld surface. Now, this has been a point of interest and a point of debate for many people and discussion on the Twitter X Minecraft community. Just from what I've seen, many people want to see more done with the overworld sulfur pools. I've seen some really cool suggestions of having varying degrees of them, different, like 6 or 8 different forms of them. Kind of like how the ruined portals in my episode over the ruined portals. Go check that out, folks. In that episode, I mentioned how there's a variety of ruined portals, different portals in different states of degradation. Well, this is kind of similar. People want to see different varieties of sulfur pools up on the surface. And I agree with them, because what they present to us so far looks a little bit lackluster. It's literally just the sulfur blocks, potent sulfur, and water at the end. It's not much, not very complex, not very visually pleasing to the eye. Very lackluster, as I said already. A wee bit boring. So I have faith that the developers listen to all of the complaints. I wouldn't say complaints. It was more constructive criticism from what I saw. And I hope that they saw that and they will go ahead and make those changes, which I have full faith they will, because it just seems like an easy thing for them to do. I think they were just putting that out there and probably waiting for people to give them feedback so they could run with some of those ideas. So anyways, I look forward to seeing what they do with those in the coming weeks and everything with this drop, because this is a very intriguing drop to me. I don't know about you folks, but this is kind of a fun one to me. Very fun one. Yes. So it will be composed of the potent sulfur cubes, like I said, underwater, which will produce that noxious gas bubbles. This could be replicated by breaking the potent sulfur blocks and putting them anywhere you want in order to recreate that noxious gas effect. Just add the water on top, et voila, noxious gas, folks. So if you come across one of these on the overworld surface, you can go ahead and take all those resources for yourself and move those potent sulfur blocks wherever you'd like, and then set up your own traps. It's super easy. I think it's going to be fun to see what people do with those as well. Another cool new feature is that we can now capture the Sulfur Cube in a bucket. I thought this was interesting. And you can take it wherever we want. So grab a bucket, folks, and store the Sulfur Cube in there. I thought that was very intriguing. Very interesting concept Mojang came up with, because I haven't seen anything like that done quite. I mean, I know you can capture like fish in bucket. You could do things with animals or mobs in buckets, but this one kind of threw me for a loop. But I enjoy it. I thought it was extremely convenient. Mojang also listened to community feedback and tweaked the colors, as I mentioned, to Sulfur and Cinnabar blocks. Let's revisit that for a second. I love how they look, and like I said, it's fantastic. And they have complete block sets of the Sulfur and the Cinnabar. So now we got 2 new complete block sets. They're beautiful. And the community is going to go wild with these things, with these 2 new block sets. It's going to be crazy, the contrast they're going to have, with all the other blocks in the game, and then using these 2 new ones, these 2 new colors. And that is about all the new features that were announced this week in light of Cube Chaos, folks. I already said that they tweaked the colors a little bit on that, so go check those out. But yeah, now that we're caught up to speed there, let's move on to the next portion of the show, where I'll give you a sneak peek into this upcoming Thursday's episode: Polls, Potions, and Superstitions. The Rabbit's Foot Explored. Join me this Thursday at Realm News, hosted by me, the Dark Lord, the one who puts the real in Realm and expands your mind one block at a time. I will be diving into the fascinating intersections between Minecraft and real-world history, mythology, and culture. Each episode explores obscure in-game items like the rabbit's foot, uncovering their uses within Minecraft while delving into the rich real-life lore, from ancient superstitions to unique Minecraft mechanics. We will be blending engaging polls, audience interactions, and intriguing tales to expand your understanding of both virtual and historical realms. Join me for thought-provoking content that connects the blocks to the broader world. That's the description I have for this week's episode over the Rabbit's Foot, my friends. I would like to now play a clip so you can hear what to expect this week. However, amputated hands didn't always serve as a measure of preventing criminal activity, but rather as an aid in doing so. This brings me to another article that I discovered titled Hand of Glory: The Dark Secret of the Severed Hand at Whitby Museum, found at whitbyguide.co.uk. This article explains what kind of hand you want to make a Hand of Glory from. To create a Hand of Glory, you would have to first find a hanging murderer's corpse that was often on display during this medieval time period, apparently. Or they make it sound like it's a rather common thing to find around this period of time, almost like going to a grocery store. Once you have found your dead, hanging murderer, and you want him to be hung, because this indicates he was tried and found guilty, which is what you want. You want a guilty dead person, which... sure, I'm sure they had fair justice back then, but you get the picture. And you would then proceed to cut off his right hand after you found the appropriate hanging corpse. Cut off the right hand because you assume that they're right-handed. The next step is to make this hand into a proper candle or candle holder so you can, do some thieving, which I want to get into now. Right now, actually. I'll tell you how to do that. But first, let's talk about why. Now, some people would make the hand into a candle itself, or you can make it into a candle holder, like I said. Each finger would indicate a person in the household. How many people were in that house? Just to throw it out there just bluntly. It would indicate the number of people residing in that said house. Thieves in this era were particularly drawn to the Hand of Glory because thievery was punishable by death. Consequently, the more severe the penalty, the more drastic the act required to evade capture. There's 4 main theories to the magic behind the Hand of Glory that gives reason to why thieves would want to use it. Let me read them off real quick. First and most common is that the hand could put to sleep anyone that was awake in the house and render them in a coma-like state until the flames were extinguished. The hand could give light to only the holder, casting all others into darkness, akin to the holder becoming invisible, about the same thing. Number 3, any lock could be opened in and around the vicinity where the hand was lit. Number 4, the Hand of Glory could burn forever without perishing. Isn't that crazy? Can we get this into Minecraft, please? No, seriously, people back then really thought that this had some real significant power. It would be amazing to be able to pick locks with ease or become invisible in a shroud of darkness. Sounds like a really useful item for a thief. Allow me to quote what is found in this source, which is a portion of a grimoire, or a textbook on magic that teaches you how to create talismans, amulets, and other magic. This grimoire is titled Secrets merveilleux de la magie naturelle cabalistique du Petit Albert. Here is the recipe according to the grimoire, written by Albertus Parvis Lucius. Quote, which was translated into French, hence the French title. Anyways, quote, take the right or left hand of a felon who is hanging from a gibbet beside a highway. Wrap it in part of a funeral pall, and so wrapped, squeeze it well. Then put it into an earthenware vessel with zimmet, nitra, salt, and long peppers, the whole well powdered. Leave it in the vessel for a fortnight, then take it out and expose it to full sunlight during the dog days until it becomes quite dry. If the sun is not strong enough, put it in an oven with fern and vervain. Next, make a kind of candle from the fat of a gibbeted felon, virgin wax, sesame, and pony, and use the Hand of Glory as a candlestick to hold this candle when lighted. And then those in every place into which you go with this baneful instrument shall remain motionless. End quote. Yeah, they're motionless because they see a person carrying around a severed hand that has been dried out and processed into a candle holder or into a candle. I would probably freeze too before running, screaming. But I think you'll get the picture now. This Hand of Glory was used by criminals in order to carry out successful burglaries and crimes. Creepy, rather disgusting. What a horrific story I provided to you in the form of the Hand of Glory. But I could not pass the opportunity to report that crazy, taboo, magical device used for thievery in medieval times. Please tune in this Thursday so you can find out more interesting, fun facts that surround the rabbit's foot. There's a lot of superstition and lore you will not want to miss out on. I will see you all there. Until then, I wish you all a wonderful rest of your day and happy crafting. The Dark Lord. Signing out. Hey, Realm News fans, it's your host, the Dark Lord, the one who puts the real in Realm and expands your mind one block at a time. I am here to tell you that your support means everything. Spread the word by telling friends, liking, and commenting on Spotify or Good Pods. Find me on X, Blue Sky, Reddit, or via email at bio.link/realmnews. For more content, join my Patreon at the Copper tier for early episodes, bonus content, and newsletters. Find out more at bio.link/realmnews. No pressure, though. Just keep listening, liking, and sharing. That's more than enough. Happy crafting, and see you at the next Realm News.